Here we go. All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Sunday, February the 16th, 2020, and I'm ready to go. It's a little cold outside, so I'm a little on the chilly side, but otherwise I'm good. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm chilly.
All right, so we're going to start off today with kind of a fun thing. On the last show, if you missed it, we did kind of a Valentine's Day poem at the very beginning, and I'll try to stick a link up on the top of the screen to that show. And I think the one that I did is at about 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the previous show's video. I'm not going to read mine again just for time reasons. So I have a poem that I wrote, and then it turned into a competition. So I asked that if you had a poem you wanted to submit, that we would read it on the show. So we're going to actually do that because there was 4 of them.
4 brave people. For the rest of you, shame on you.
Yeah, and so...
Just kidding. I couldn't write a poem to save my life.
And so what I'll do is I'm going to score them on originality and overall delivery. So let's start with the first one. So if you missed this, I did a poem. It was a Valentine's Day poem competition, and we'll do it every year. And maybe more times throughout the year. So we had 4 applicants. Let's go with the first one with their first poem, and it had to be kind of tennis related or love and tennis related, something like that.
Well, this one's from Margarita. We know she's a huge Nadal fan.
Let's go.
She said, "Let me just try. Your fighting spirit we all look up to. Your mental strength other players wishes they have it too. King of clay, other people regarded you. As for me, win or lose is just pure happiness watching you. Vamos, Rafa Nadal, te amo."
All right. Well done. Well played. Well played. All right. So we're gonna go with like a 7.358.
You can't just say 7.5.
No, this is a tight scale here.
Mm-hmm.
But the originality was like an 8.5. So I'm gonna give it an 8.18763 on hers. All right. So that's our first one. All right, let's go with the second.
Next one is This Guy 1000. He says, "Okay, here goes. Your legacy on the court will always inspire Roger Federer. Please never retire."
All right. So we're gonna go on originality. We're gonna give him a 6.98763. And then I guess the overall delivery, it was pretty short.
It was pretty short. Something better than I would have done.
6.98763. All right, let's go with the next one.
Next one is Paul Sparling. He says, "Okay, my poem. Here goes."
Canadian guy.
Okay, I got quite heated. I thought my comments were deleted. Carla assured me no menace. They like my comments about tennis. They may have been bland, but they were certainly on hand. I was sure they were not, then looked at the day before, and there was the lot.
This is good.
Oh my gosh.
So there were some comments that were left, and there was a snafu or something. Anyway, that was the result. So we're going to give it an 8.5 on originality, and for overall delivery, we're going to give it an 8.9. So we're going to give it 8.73682. So right now, Paul's in first place at an 8.7. You got one more, right?
It's a long one.
Well, let's roll.
Sister to queen.
Let's get down.
Another girl. So we had 2 girls, 2 guys.
Come on.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I went searching for love in a field laid with grass. Found a man in twilight filled with elegance and class. He told me to look harder under the land from whence I came. My search took me further till I reached the land of clay. Mudbound and tired, I began to lose my way, but then a bull appeared, and he led me through the day. We came to a court of jesters, and I looked at the bull confused. Then a joker with a mask on walked up to me, bemused. "How could you look for love," he said, "in a game where hearts are broken? Where love does not comfort or hold, but its misery once spoken." Suddenly I laughed out loud, realizing my plight was complete. I've been looking for love in grass and dirt while all along it was hidden in me.
Oh, it's magic. Oh, that's big. This is big. Okay, so
wow.
Overall originality on that one, we're going to 9.987632. And for overall delivery, it's a 10.
You think they're gonna see that little 10?
Okay, so look, 9.98762. There's your champion for this year's poem contest.
Good job, Sister De Queen.
Let's go! Shoot. She needs to write a book. Forget Shakespeare. Sister the Queen. Beowulf, not Sister the Queen.
That was good.
It's wonderful. Let's go! All right, so that's it for that. So sorry if you missed that, but I had fun with it.
I did too. That was funny.
All right, real quickly, we have spent 2, maybe 3 shows now having a nice debate, a very objective debate about players that will, be born or be from another country and they move to another country and they fly a different flag playing their sport. And not just in tennis, but since we're tennis fans and this is a tennis show, we just reference tennis, but it happens in a lot of sports. So we had kind of a long dissertation from a gentleman, I forget the name right offhand, on the last show, and it was That was the last one with the.
Oh, you mean the first one?
The first one, yeah.
It was It was started with an
yeah.
M too.
It was something like that. Sorry, I did 2 shows. We kind of had someone from Serbia that wrote this really beautiful statement, and kind of gave like almost seemingly an autobiography, or a biography rather, of Novak Djokovic. But we have 2 more comments from Serbia about kind of one kind of not really caring.
It was Mirko M.
Mirko
on
M.
the last show.
Yeah. So we had 2 comments though, not pertaining to kind of like a biographical kind of gist, but more from whether they care or not if someone left their own country. And again, they're just from Serbia. It has nothing to do with just picking on Serbia here, but just in general, would one care if one left there, and would they not? So you have one going one way and one going kind of the other way.
Right.
All right. So read the first one.
His name is M. Master, I guess the J silent. We expect that every man born and raised in Serbia or with Serbian ancestry plays for Serbia, regardless if she develops in other country. That decision depends just on them. We have all kind of different cases, and of course, mostly cheer for players who play for Serbia, where we don't hate those who decide to play for another country. In case of switching, it is different. An opposite thing like Monica Seles. When she switched to perform for USA, I stopped watching and supporting her. In case of Daniel Nestor, he's just born in Serbia, but is in Serbia since his ancestors aren't from Serbia. Therefore, it is okay and is expected for him to perform for Canada.
Yeah, and this was from M. Master or M. Master with the J silent. That's a great comment. And I agree. Again, I've talked about it.
Well, he basically saying what I'm saying. I mean, It's okay if you leave when you're from a small. Nestor left when he was really small, so therefore it was expected for him to represent Canada.
Right. Okay. Now read the other one.
This one's from Ivan I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong and butchering it. Stanislajevic. You can correct me later on. Djokovic was on the verge, he says, of leaving this country when he was 16. He did not have sponsorship and had to miss many junior tournaments because he had no money. Maybe that's done his development a bit as a player, but he turned out okay. I say, if you don't have money, go for it outside. If you have a lot of money and you're already a pro and you leave this country for additional millions, then you're a sellout. And he's also from Serbia.
Yeah, well back to the first one from M. Master. What he was indicating is that, unless I misunderstood it, so I read it once, and I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me as you do, but I may have misinterpreted it then. I thought I understood it as when Monica Seles kind of departed, he stopped following and supporting her.
She played there. She was from there.
I am agreeing with him there.
Yes.
Totally. Yes, and I agree with the second comment, because if you already are well off and you go for more millions just to make more millions and forget about your flag, then yes.
You're a sellout.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing the other guy saying.
Exactly. Again, the key variable for me here, and I know I'm alone on this. Well, not alone. I think there's a handful of others. It's patriotism. Look. I'm going to relate this to the next thing I was going to bring up. We have our second subscriber from Brazil. Okay, Brazil. Rodrigo Fritas. Okay?
Fritas.
Fritas.
Fritas are good. Have you
now-
had fritas? They're good.
I don't recall, what is it, like Fritos or something?
It's like fried, anything fried, like a plantain could be a fritas. Everywhere is different. South America is different. A frita could be like a flour, a dough fried. That could be a frita, and then they put whatever on top of it.
Well, how do you do what's the thing you wrap in corn? Like corn husks?
Oh,
Tamale?
that's tamales, yeah.
So
That's different. That's not fritas. That's not fried.
what's that, baked?
Kind of. Not really, no.
All right, maybe you should do it.
I don't know. I did it with my grandmother, and that thing takes forever to do. I'd rather just buy it.
All right, so I kind of relate this to this topic. Okay, so we're gonna ask Rodrigo something. All right, so let's first of all let's list a few Brazilian tennis players. We got João Sousa. We of course know Gustavo Kuerten, Thomas Belushi, who's been around forever, good doubles player too. Marcelo Melo, that kid Dutra Silva, and there's a lot of other ones, right? There's a lot of other athletes. Let's look at Pele. Who are some other famous Brazilian athletes? There's a ton of them. Pele is, I think, probably
Pele?
I think Pele would be the most iconic world, global, like one of the best athletes to ever have lived. But let's say that, let's pick on Gustavo Kuerten here. If Gustavo Kuerten, at age 13 or 14 or 15, whatever, took off and went to Japan and trained there.
Maria Bueno was from Brazil. Beatriz Haddad, Marie.
Yeah, but let's say Gustavo Kuerten left at 14, 15, 16 years old or later and moved to Japan, started training there, and the next time you see him at the U.S. Open, he's got a Japanese flag next to his name, and he's playing representing Japan. I just don't get it. I would never do it. I wouldn't do it for a freaking penny. I wouldn't do it for all the money in the world because I have a sense of morals, I think, and maybe because where we live isn't that great of a place sometimes, but I'm grateful to be, I guess, breathing on this planet and to be doing this, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful, but I have pride in where I come from, no matter what. Even if I came from Antarctica, I'd be like, "What's up? What's up, my penguins? Where's my polar bears out here in this piece?" I'd be like, "What's up?" Of course, I would not serve my country if it depended upon it, and I think it's your duty to do so. But again, not everyone is like me.
Right.
All right. Anyway, moving forward to Kim Clijsters. All right, let's get on this Kim Clijsters thing.
So we know she's playing Dubai. Kiki Bertens just won St. Petersburg for the second time in a row. I think, what's his name? Jon Stewart? John, what's his name? I keep forgetting. He's the kid that always makes comment. He's a viewer from...
Oh, Gene Swart.
Thank you.
South Africa. Well, you see,
right.
she said Jon Stewart. That's like a talk show host. It's like, how can I think about anything else?
Anyways,
Jon Stewart.
he was telling me the other day about Kiki Bertens, how she should win more. She could win a Grand Slam. Well, she just won St. Petersburg. I don't think she'll ever win a Grand Slam. St. Petersburg, to me, big deal. Ooh,
That's a good tournament, though.
It's a good tournament. Kvitova had to pull out on that one due to injury. She beat Rybakina pretty easily, 6-1, 6-3. But anyways, she was playing Dubai, and she pulled out. Originally, it was supposed to be Svitolina against Muguruza, but they removed Svitolina and put her against a lucky loser, and now Clijsters has to face Muguruza. So here she's coming back, and I was looking at tons of pictures of her. I always give heat to players that do not look in shape, right? We've talked about Serena not looking in shape.
We talked about Taylor Townsend.
We've even talked about
Andreescu. Yeah.
We talked about a lot of these players. So, of course, I'm going to give her the same treatment because it's deserved. I wonder, has any viewers looked at these pictures?
Okay, so we have new viewers, and if they haven't seen some of the older shows, first of all, we mean this in a tennis coaching perspective. We're not trying to say, look, if there was we're not picking on girls that are out of shape. It's just when we see any tennis player that's out of shape, we'll mention it.
But I'm thinking here, you're coming back to a field of young tennis players that are fit and they are hungry, and the game's a bit faster from when you left it. It's not like when she left, there were more veterans playing the game than now, I think, in my opinion. There's a lot of young kids playing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of super fit people. But again, this isn't...
And she's a mother of 3, so I give her that.
Yeah, and
she's a mother of 3.
This isn't meant to be out of disrespect. It's just two coaches that say, geez, it's going to be really hard to play at a high level for a long period of time without injuring yourself, number one, by being out of shape. So when we mention Serena, and we're not picking it and being like blaspheming about people maybe out of shape, where coaches say, this person is out of shape.
You're making excuses.
I don't want to get drilled
Okay,
for
but
talking
first
bad
of
about
all,
a female.
we know why Serena can't win. We've all said it. Coaches have said it. People and commentators. She's still out of shape. To win in any sport, you have to be in shape. And we know Serena struggles with that. Well, here's Clijsters coming back. The last time she won a Grand Slam was in 2011 Australian Open. She had won the 2010 US Open. And she still wasn't at 100% in shape as she, the first time she left the sport. Well, here she's coming back, 36 years old, a mother of 3. You know that she hasn't trained as hard as these girls. I give her kudos for trying. But I looked at her picture and I said, geez, you knew you were coming back. Your first match is against someone who just climbed a mountain, who's really fit. It's not going to be easy.
Not going to be easy. And then if my memory serves me correctly, we dissected this draw a little while ago.
If she wins that, then she's got to play Yastremska, which is another fit tennis player.
Yeah, so Clijsters' return to tennis, unfortunately for her, this is like a worst case scenario. She's playing Muguruza first, right? Then she has to potentially meet Yastremska. And I think after that, it even gets worse, doesn't it?
No, it kind of, but then you have, the top seeds.
But
I don't think she'll get through Muguruza. Muguruza loses to her. Oh, yeah.
All right, so do you want to share?
And I'm just going to show one picture, just one picture. And there's a picture that they're showing, no.
I mean, she is a fine player, but she's going to have trouble. You know what I mean?
I mean, she looks fine for a mother of 3.
She looks great.
But I mean, for professional tennis, that's a little bit tough.
Yeah, she looks wonderful. So glad she's on the court. But I'm saying, what is the intended outcome here? Is it potentially getting injured? It could happen. Is it to sell tickets? Maybe it's something necessary for her. I guess maybe a new chapter again, or another new chapter in her book and in her life.
Here's a more recent. Okay,
she's just not going to be able to.
Here's another picture of her at Dubai. I mean, you can see that she still looks like a mother of 3. And usually, when you come back to a sport, unfortunately, you have to get a nutritionist. You have to get a trainer. I mean, it's like if I decide to go play challenges right now, I'm not fit for that. I would get my butt kicked.
I have to tread carefully on this one. Again,
I'm only talking about because she's coming back.
Look, I have given grief to Serena. I have given grief to Andreescu. I have given grief to a lot of players.
If she wasn't coming back and she was not playing tennis, she looks fine. It doesn't matter.
I'll give it to her. Now, again, the reason why it's a little bit different than her than the other players is because they're on tour or only took a very short bit of time off. Serena got right back, and she's working. But, I mean, she's been out of the game for a long time.
Yes.
Has 3 children, not 1. And the 3 times going through that's tough. I know I've been through it 5 times. It's different. But let's talk about the biggest problem here is hopefully she doesn't get injured. And I think
she delayed it because she had an injury.
I think she has a really good potential to be injured. And I hope that she does not. Kim Clijsters, by the way, 36 years old, 5'8". This is her second retirement. She came out of retirement before in 2012. Or do I have that? She came out of... No, she retired once and then retired in 2012. Yeah, so something like that. She has $24 million in prize money. She's already in the Tennis Hall of Fame. Her career record was 523 wins and 127 losses with an 80.5% winning percentage. 41 titles. She was number 1 in the world in 2003. 4 majors, 3 at the U.S. Open, 1 at the Australian, and 2 in doubles. She was in an era with a couple of players, namely Serena Williams, obviously, and Justine Henin. Arguably, in my opinion, a short career, coulda, shoulda, woulda been one of the best players of all time, and one of my favorite players of all time, Justine Henin. The head-to-head at these girls going through this era, right? Serena Williams was 8-6 career over Justine Henin. Pretty close. Henin was feisty. Really good player.
A beautiful player, because she never had problems in the locker room. People love this girl.
Serena Williams was 7-2 career versus Kim Clijsters, so kind of owned her, right? Except for that one U.S. Open where Serena wanted to jam the ball down someone's throat. That was ugly. However, Clijsters held a 13-12 edge over Justine Henin. Now, these three, really high-quality players. Some of the best ever, if not the best ever, right there, right?
Oh yeah, those were wonderful matches to watch.
Steffi Graf and other people, Navratilova and forth. Obviously,
Clijsters always had good matches against them, even against Venus and Capriati. She got to play Capriati as well.
Yeah, so the only way I can foresee Clijsters being able to do any type of damage is 1-2-3 tennis. In your face, hard hitting. If I'm missing Sabalenka type tennis, serve +1. Serve +1, here's my short ball +2.
She won't be able to do what she used to do back in the days. Remember, she would split. She would kind of do a split or slide. I don't see her doing that at this age.
We're asking for trouble if we're doing that now.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think this is more of a publicity stunt?
I don't think she needs to do a publicity stunt. I think maybe she really loves the game, but I don't think that she should have been a little bit more ready for this. I don't know.
Hopefully she doesn't get hurt, but the best of luck. I look forward to watching. Hopefully she does well.
I'll be cheering for her.
It's going to be really tough to beat a super fit Muguruza, though. All right, next quick topic that I have, and it's really kind of a group poll question. This is a poll question for everyone, right? Kind of a poll question. And this is, I'm going to ask Carla, but it's for you as well. So here is this poll question. So this is referring to Goran Ivanisevic and his relation or his thoughts about Novak Djokovic. You understand the context? Mm-hmm. Okay. So your duty is to say I agree or I disagree. No happy medium, agree or disagree. Okay? That's it. Okay? So Goran Ivanisevic states, quote, referring to Djokovic, that he is already the best tennis player in history. Agree or disagree?
I have to disagree. Just because of, we can't say why, right?
Because why can't you?
Why can't you say why? You said you can't be a happy medium.
Okay, you already answered the question, but why now? Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to pass the slimes. Then I'll say he's the greatest ever. Simple for me. It's simple. Yes, he's great. Yes. Can he be the greatest? Yes. But I'm waiting for the slams to be passed. We've had this argument a million times.
Yeah. I don't want to divulge too far into it, but once again, this is because I read this today. We talked about this since like a year and a half ago.
Of course he's going to say that. He's his coach, too.
For me, and I think for a lot of us, it's not about our opinions when it comes down to who's the best ever. It comes down to the history books. Again, when we're all dead and gone off this earth, and we're all watching this show, and we're a has-been, and then there's 3 generations of people in our places, those people aren't going to have watched the head-to-heads. They're not going to really know the intensity of the rivalries and matchups. They're just going to go to their, Google, or in this case, probably just write in their mind or something, and just search it. Oh, okay, this guy won this many, and this guy won that, means they're the best ever. And 500 years from now, hopefully tennis is still around. But maybe there's someone with 30 majors, and so it's not about what we think. It is about major. Who's the best basketball player? Well, of course, Jordan. There's I forget the champion. Was it Bill Russell or someone like that won 10, but the league was completely different. Kind of like Margaret Court's 25 to Serena's 23. A little bit of a different story, but 24. But off topic, off the history books, I think there's a valid argument that in respective cliques, that I think if you had a group of a professional and positive, debatable type people, and it got into a good debate with Federer fans, Djokovic fans, and Nadal fans, that everyone could postulate their own theory of why that person is the best ever because of certain heads-to-heads or surfaces or whatever. So the moral of the story is, what's the one variable that's the constant?
To me,
it's slam count.
To me, you have to kind of take out Nadal. I hate this. I'm a Nadal fan.
Well, wait a minute. You can't, because someone not too terribly long ago on one of our shows said that the quote-unquote something like this. The surface of clay brings out the most demanding tennis because you kind of have to slog through it.
That's true, so I'll take that back.
So we heard someone make the argument the other day, right here on the comments, that Nadal is the best ever.
That's
because
true.
of what he can do on clay that no one else can match, and it's the hardest surface.
True.
And I had to stay mute on that.
That's true. And I think B-Dog, him and I were just chatting. He said, was Nadal ever injured at the French Open? And I said yes, twice.
He withdrew
twice.
I
said the year that Federer won. I said, and there was a year where Djokovic won. I said that, I won the year that Djokovic won, 2016. Nadal had to pull out in the third round against Granollers, and he was killing everyone. First round, second round. Djokovic, his toughest match was in the final against Andy Murray, because he said, well, I feel like Nadal kind of gifted Federer some slams, and because Djokovic was injured, Federer got some slams. Well, it's called opportunities, right? These players have all been injured.
It's part of the game.
It's part of the game. We can say Monica Seles could have won 20 if her stabbing would have never happened. So we can't look at things that way. We can't, because who knows?
Yeah, it's part of the game.
It's part of the game. You can't say, well, because this person was in. No, you cannot say that.
One of the things in tennis is that no one can overcome is health and is injury.
Sure.
One of the tough things for a tennis player, and I'll speak for myself, as I've dealt with it as a player, is retiring from a match. The reason why it's really difficult to pull off a 100% retirement from a match, if it's not a brutal injury, is because the crowd doesn't quite get it, and even if you're losing. There was a couple instances where I badly sprained an ankle, and it wasn't like a really bad looking sprain. It was a slight roll, but it's really killer pain. And I'm like, what's up, Chris? My son Chris just jumped in here, solo or not. He's a good guitar player, just coming in from band practice. So the ability when a player retires from a match and the fans kind of don't get it. The person is always kind of disliked behind the scenes. He retired because he was losing. It didn't matter. We see pro players that go through it. Djokovic at the beginning of his career was going through a little bit of that, and it kind of put people on his bad side. We've seen Serena do it recently against, what was it, Andreescu?
A lot, yeah.
It's difficult because the fans don't understand it. In my own experience, though, I was at a tournament and I was on clay, and my ankle, my leg was swollen up, just nasty. But I remember hearing kind of locker room type things. I was getting beaten. I was getting beaten badly. It was like I was down like 6-2, 3-0 when I was on clay. I was still busting my ass. I was still grinding, and I slid on it. My left ankle sliding to the left, just barely tweaked like this from a fan's eye, like this. But it put me down. I had to crawl to the bench. The other dude didn't even believe it. But it was a bad deal. I went to the emergency room with my dad. He took me to Providence.
It's better to pull out, because I played
It's better to pull out.
I played a tournament with a thumb that was sprained, and I thought, hey, I can handle it. It was my right hand, and I should have never played that match, because I could have beaten that girl if my thumb was fine. And I lost that match. I couldn't even grab my racket, but out of pride, I didn't want anybody to talk bad about me. Yeah. I played her, and I shouldn't have.
So this is a prime example. We were talking about, why do some people dislike Djokovic, and we looked up different reasons and so forth. And that was one of the things, some early career retirements. But again, no one really knows. So it's good to know the body. If you can't play, you can't play. But if you get on that court and retire, and it's not just some brutal thing like Bethany Maddox-Sands or mine rupturing the patellar tendon, you have to be careful with it. Anyway, I don't even know how I got on that topic in the first place. But moving forward, you're good?
My next subject was, I was reading a few things about players who lose, get hammered at social media or get sent messages. We know players like Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, they have people running their social media pages. They don't answer. They're not ones really answering. But I was reading one where Garcia...
Oh, well, hold on. You missed a key detail on this. Yes. Okay, so Carla's alluding to athletes that get like really bad messages, especially the females, like you bleep, 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 I wish you would bleep, 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 blah, 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 blah. But the messages that a lot of these athletes are getting are from bettors or gamblers.
They're gamblers.
That bet on the matches, and then because the athlete that they bet on loses, they start getting like worse than death threats, like really bad threats.
Yeah, and it's a shame, because first of all, gambling is, a lot of places not legal. But Carolina had lost at St. Petersburg to a lucky...
Caroline Garcia
had lost to a lucky loser at St. Petersburg, and she got a message saying, "You are so bad and you make me lose my money. I have never seen a loser as miserable as you. You are a shame of sport. I hope you die from cancer."
That's awful.
That's awful.
It's crazy stuff.
Gail Monfils lost one, and I don't even want to say the message because it was racial.
Yeah, we don't want to go there.
And calling his girl a name that you would never call a girl after losing a match. There are players like Alexandra Krunic. In 2017, she received death threats when she lost a match because a gambler lost money. Heather Watson received many racist comments when she would lose matches. And Kevin Anderson, last year, he lost to Istomin, and he received death threats for his family and himself. I think it's crazy that these gamblers do that.
Well, there's an old saying, there's nothing new underneath the sun.
Crazy. Grow up.
There's been bettors for thousands of years that have threatened people that they've bet on, or, dog fighting or cockfighting chickens.
Don't bet on. I would say don't bet on me.
Wherever there's money, there's evil.
Wherever there's...
I mean, I was going to say I've done my share of sports betting, and you can promise I lost my share of sports betting. But
that's your fault. You're you as the person gambling, you're taking a risk.
I get it, it's my fault, but you're not happy when you lose.
But you don't send somebody a message like
that. No, totally not. I'm just saying you're not happy about it.
Right.
So... what I'm getting at is it's not shocking because we're in a world where you can pick up something and go, F you, here you go, and go on with your day. The crazy part about 2020, the world in which we live, is there's psychos out there. There's really freak shows out there that will do some really crazy things. So you have to be careful with that. But again, if you take the cell phones out of the situation, I mean, when I did my sports betting, it was like college 90s. We had the bag phones in the middle of the car.
Beeper, go.
You had
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I hate you.
Yeah, no. I would have, like, if I would call someone, I had a pager. I had like two of them. I had a clear blue one and like a black one. Boop, boop. I was beeping like beep, beep. I was like, what's up? Check my beeper. But we would have like codes. Like we would put our number like 251 blah 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 blah, and I'd put like star 007. My code was 007.
Back in the days, you wouldn't be able to message an athlete because they're not going to carry their beeper, nor are they going to give you their personal number.
So I mean, look. I mean, right. So now, let's say like my 49ers lost the Super Bowl. I was like, Garoppolo, you suck. You are a waste of time. We're never going to win a Super Bowl with you. You're garbage. Garbage. I was like on the phone with B-Dog. I'm having a meltdown. What's up? Anyway, but now I can just pick up, then go to his fan page and assume I'm talking to the guy and not really talking to their publicist or their marketing group. I'm talking to like 27 people and just voice my opinion. And when there's a vibrant one, they'll say, hey, let's put this on our platform and it'll make us look even better. So it's all a twist fest of bullshit, sit sandwich on a slab. It's bullshit. So she probably never got it. She never even saw it. Her publicist just published it, and then their publicist told her about it long before it got published. Hey, I saw this. Oh, geez, I get 20 of those a day. But let's publish that one and harass that one.
But some players
it's bullshit.
Some players that are not that popular, they do look at their own stuff.
Don't believe anything you hear. Half of what you see, and almost nothing that you read.
Don't believe that quote because you're hearing us.
No, I
don't believe that quote.
I believe that it's awful to do that.
I don't believe in that quote at all.
No,
I hate that quote.
I believe that it was awful, but there's nothing new about a gambler losing and getting pissed. I mean, I've been in the barbershop getting cut and be like, what the? Are you serious? I've been shooting pool and lost.
Well, didn't we have a viewer? Who was the viewer? Did he come back? There was one that loved Federer so much that he was not going to watch tennis anymore. He quit the show. He didn't want to do it anymore because Federer lost. I don't remember who that was.
Gee. I mean, I got elevated now. I'm like, elevated. I was a slow starter today. I was kind of like gloomy and all. I played tennis for the first time in 3.5 months. Yesterday, lit it up, boom, on 1.5 legs. So I did pretty good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I did most of the running since I got to get in shape.
Still have problems with the top spin on the one-hander, but I can slice it like Daniel Evans all day. Let's get down. Woo! Ric Flair up in here. Chapter 2. What's next?
Felix.
Oh, Felix Auger-Aliassime goes down 6-2, 6-4 to Gael Monfils, who has now, I think, won back-to-back tournaments.
Really, in my opinion, I think I told B-Dog this, I thought that Felix should beat Monfils. I think if you're going to be a future champion like Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, you need to beat these type of players now. This is his 4th final. Has yet to win a title. I know he's only 19. He played at Rio Open, as we all remember. There was a lot of viewers here who love Jiri. Jiri won his first title. He lost at the Lyon Open a pair. Stuttgart, he lost to Matteo Berrettini. And now to Monfils. I really expected him to beat Monfils. I was watching a match. I felt like sometimes he gets a little bit lost. He goes back to being a child, which technically at 19 he still is. But to be a champion, a future champion, you have to beat this type of guy. Just have to.
Yeah. We're
gonna end up going to the next gen.
I think we're already at the next gen by now. Felix Auger-Aliassime, by the way, is now career 43 wins and 40 losses.
Yeah,
that's a winning percentage of 52.4%. However, he already has $2.2 million in prize money. Again, in tennis prize money, when you're young and you're traveling, paying
that goes
coaches,
quickly. $2 million is nothing.
It's probably already gone. Sponsorships usually will help. Sponsorships is generally the way you are paying, unless you got $140 million in prize money.
Right.
Let's go, Djokovic. Let's get down. Anyway, so I can assure you that he needs to keep winning. He has 0 titles.
4-0 now.
0-4, yeah.
0-4, sorry.
So we've talked about Felix Auger-Aliassime for a year and a half since we started the show. He's a bright young man, a handsome young man. He's got a great build. I think he's like 6'4" or something like that.
Yes.
So not too terribly tall.
Born on my day, August 8th, which is special.
Lean, athletically built. I think Roger Federer was born on your birthday too, right?
Yeah, I'm older by 2 years, so yeah.
But before this year started, I prophesized that Felix Auger-Aliassime, along with the likes of Berrettini, the Italian player, and Medvedev, would have not as good as a year as they had last year. Mm-hmm. So far, I've been right on all 3.
Well, he made a final.
All 3.
He made
now,
one.
Everyone laughed at me, by the way. People, Berrettini, you're crazy.
No. But you can't be right about Felix because he made a final again.
Yes.
So he's still young.
But what you just said, though, you have to beat these players now.
You have to beat Monfils the Clown. You have to beat him. I mean, he's a quitter. He should have beat him.
You said it perfectly. You can't say it any better than what you said. Now, is Monfils arguably one of the best athletes to be on the planet right now across all sports? Like Usain Bolt is ripped up and fit like that? Yes.
No, he has a lot of injuries now.
I'm just saying, when he's fit, he is an incredible athlete. Right. But that doesn't mean you're a phenomenal tennis player.
He's not a phenomenal
He's an incredible athlete, and when he's fit, you better be able to go all day, because he will until he quits if he's losing sometimes.
Like I said.
Like we said, retirement.
When I watched this match, I felt like he went back to junior tennis, like he could not think out there. Like he forgot that he's playing professional ATP Tour tournament. You know what I mean? He didn't. It seems like something happens to him when he gets to a final. He just doesn't figure it out. How to be a champion, how to win, how to finally get off that hurdle. It takes time. Look, Tiem, it took time for him.
The age 19 in 2020, which he's 19, I think is different than the age 19 was when I was 19, and I'll explain. When I was 19, balling, like hustling, like what's up? See a girl, like let's get down. Come on, I mean like suave, a little game in there. You know, not so offensive. You know, same way.
At 19, I would have said,
go. You'd have been nothing.
Go.
Nothing. But hustling, you know, and not being scared to hustle. Like, huh? You know, you know what I mean? When you were 19, you would have, well, yeah, you would have been standing your ground until whatever, but, I mean, let's say in New York, right? I
was in Florida at 19.
All right, you went on a different trajectory there. We won't get into that. It's personal.
At 19, I still was single. I wasn't single, but I wasn't married yet. I didn't have kids or anything like that.
Yeah, so, neither here nor there. But when I was 19 as a young man, you were ready to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, ready to go.
Ready to fight the world.
Like, what?
I was on my own.
You know what I'm saying? What you looking at, Willis? What you looking at, Willis? Huh? You? What? Okay. You know what I'm saying? But now, a 19-year-old boy is kind of like sometimes a little on the
soft side.
A little on the soft side.
I mean, look at Serena when she was 19. She was a beast, right?
Beast mode.
Watch her win the U.S. Open.
Like Marshawn Lynch. Beast mode. It was just different. Mm-hmm. So what I'm getting at here is Felix Auger-Aliassime. I think he is the current majority generation 19-year-old. Not quite manned up yet. A 19 soldier. Like,
he's got to man up a little bit, yeah.
Step on my territory. Like a pit bull at 19. Like, but now I think there's less pit bull men out there at 19. I think it's sad, and I won't get into that. That's a development of societal, psychological conundrum. But nonetheless, there's not as many soldiers as there is now. That's why those flags keep changing. Go play for this guy. He's paying me off. Well, I'm Japanese. Going to Japan. Going tomorrow. I'm going to play at the Japanese country club. Give me a Japanese shirt. Let me get one of those. I'm not disrespecting that, but that's how quick it changes. And I'm sorry. It doesn't have my flag doesn't have a dollar amount. But Felix Auger-Aliassime, I don't think has soldiered up yet.
That's not, no.
He's got to soldier up.
Got a long way to
so
go.
He can get through these bozos, right?
Yeah, maybe he needs to scream a little bit like his compatriot Shapovalov.
Maybe
it'll help him out.
Put on a little muscle mass.
He needs a little more muscle mass.
Maybe go to the bar, get roughed up a few times.
Get a girlfriend. I don't know.
No, don't be the girlfriend. That's drama. Don't do that.
Anyways, going to the next thing, the New York Open.
You end up with a Latin girl, your life changes. Life's
for the better.
For the better.
For the better, so don't even go there.
All right.
New York Open.
Told me to shut up.
New York Open.
Show.
New York Open.
All right, go ahead.
Sure.
The New York Open?
Can you hear the crowd?
No crowd.
Can you hear the crowd? No. Finals, Edmund against Seppi. Woo-hoo!
Let's go!
Exciting!
Let's get down, Seppi. I love that dude. He's an Italian fighter.
At least it won't be two big servers.
So I read an article that said the resurgence of Edmund. Let's get down.
He beat Kekmanovic.
Okay, I mean that he's a Serbian player too, and he can fight. And Kekmanovic is no joke.
Yeah.
But come on, I mean, when I get up this morning, the first article I got to read is the resurgent Edmund just wins. No disrespect to our fans in London, but even they are diehard tennis fans there. You can't tell me because he won the New York Open, he's now the Wimbledon
He hasn't
favorite.
won it. He's got to play a veteran Seppi.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I love you, Britain. I love you. Let's go. A lot of viewers there. Don't get me wrong on that. I hope he does well.
So now I gotta say this to the American male players.
Yeah.
American male players who play the New York Open. You should be ashamed of yourself. Not one of you guys made it to the final. Terrible.
I mean, the first article I looked at this morning.
Terrible. Not one American dude made it.
Let's get down.
Terrible. At the New York Open.
Remember last year, Riley Opelka won it, or the year before, and
Well, he lost to Jung. Jung beat him too.
I mean, I think Jung is a better player than Opelka anyway, because any player that rolls out on the court with a thing of Red Bull and sips it during his interview.
He still got his Paul Bunyan thing going.
Well, he's always looked like Paul Bunyan.
No, he didn't have no hair before. He started the Paul Bunyan thing at the Australian Open.
He didn't have no hair?
Oops, I went back to my ghetto.
That was freaking nice grammar.
Let's
get down. That's how we roll.
He didn't have no hair.
Doing the tennis sport, it's all proper sport.
He had no
It's all
hair.
a proper sport. She busts out. I ain't got no. I'm like, huh? Nothing but love for you. Boom. I ain't get no satisfaction.
All right.
It was a song that said that. Just at least you didn't say I ain't got no.
Yeah, that would have.
It's like a triple negative. Yeah.
Right.
Don't say the I ain't got no, because then it's like, whoa, hold up, slow down over there. All right.
All right. Well, we got Dubai coming up. That should be exciting.
That's women and men?
Yeah, I think Rio de Janeiro. There's a few clay tournaments going on in the men's. I didn't quite look. Marcel, I think, is one. One is in Brazil, and then there's another small one.
Here's something I have to mention.
Okay.
Nicholas Mahut and Pierre.
Oh, they win the New York Open?
No, they were playing in Rotterdam.
Oh, they won Rotterdam.
She ain't got no. So Mahut and Herbert win doubles in Rotterdam.
Again, well, they've won many titles.
These guys, if you have never watched them play doubles, and you have no idea who I'm talking about. I've watched doubles my entire life. My favorite doubles team, I'm sorry, is Bhupathi and Paez, the Indian pair, for a lot of other reasons. Bob and Mike Bryan are good, a little too cocky, I think, a lot of the time.
No, they're not.
I think a lot of the time the chest bumping and stuff.
That's okay, they're twins.
Well, that's
they share a connection that you will never understand.
If I give people grief for, wiping their butt on the court.
Man, come on, you should see him play doubles. You should see him play doubles against me and one of the kids. Come on, you get cocky in doubles.
All right, well, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, watch these guys play. Correct me if I'm wrong. These guys have won every single major together.
I think so.
They won every major.
Okay.
So good job to these guys, man. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put you outside. You're gonna be like, what?
Well, I'm getting ready to go work out anyways.
All right, shoot, you need to work out. Snap, crack, and pop you in the eye with this cup. Shoot, tripping. All right, that's all I got.
All right, excellent.
Let's get down. Doesn't feel like it was the best delivery, but that's all right, because Sister the Queen beat me with her poem.
I knew she would.
Mad about that. Adios, take care. Much love. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Pumping myself up.